This webinar is brought to you by Kakehashi Africa, Google for Education, and Slime for Africa. I will be your host for the webinar, Mr. Nkamosoa Ojo. Enjoy. Okay, so now more people are joining in.
Hi.
Okay, I think we're good now. Okay, so hello everyone. Konbawa, Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Thank you for joining us and expecting more people as time goes on. This is a webinar to commemorate the 60th anniversary of Japan-Nigerian diplomatic relations, hosted by Kakehashi Africa in collaboration with Google for Education and other partners, SlimeforAfrica. And it's my esteemed pleasure to have with me Professor Kazuaki Oda, singularly for me because I was privileged to have a lengthy connection with him about 5 years ago when I used to work for DMMA Kaiwa. And he came as, I would call you a student, but you're really an advanced student. That's why you stood out. And it's a pleasure having him. And I want to try to do justice to the lengthy accolades that are tied to him. But let me just give a brief bio of Professor Kazuaki Oda. He is a guest professor at Nagoya University, an executive fellow and co-founder at Slogan Incorporated. He is the chief executive officer of Care Consulting, and he was a former guest lecturer of the Institute Technology Bangkok. Hello. Please, if you don't, do you mind just muting your mic, please? Thank you very much. So I continue. He's a serial entrepreneur and with an avid interest in business, corporate finance, venture capital investment, startup strategy, and open market dynamics. With the global economic trends, he has his tentacles spread across, he has friends across the globe. And today we'll be talking on a varied things, but it would have a singular spine of Japan relationship with retail market dependent economies with an emphasis on the PPP, purchasing power parity. So it's without any further ado, I myself, Mr. Nkamoso Ojong, now have to usher the space for Professor Kazuaki Oda to speak. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice introduction. And I'm so happy to hear today. And it is grateful and very pleased to have this wonderful opportunity to talk to my friends. Actually, I have a lot of Nigerian friends. Not all of them in Japan, but also in different countries. Nowadays, now we are confronting the difficulty with COVID-19, but it can be also the greatest opportunity to learn something new. Actually, I'm now in Japan and I'm not in Africa, or I'm not in any other country, only in Japan. But the fact is, I have lots of online meetings with foreigners or someone working in different countries, including Africa. Almost every week, I have online meetings with someone in Africa, sometimes Ethiopia, sometimes Nigeria, sometimes South Africa. So I feel like I'm in Africa. Actually, to be honest, I have never been to any African countries yet, even now. But I have a lot of information about Nigeria. Well, how is the work or life in Lagos? Or Because actually 2 days, the day before yesterday, I had a online meetings with Nigerian. How are you doing? How is the situation about the COVID-19? Oh, Mr. Kazi, it's not so bad, but sometimes we not now so convenient like before, and the schools are even off and they're supposed to be open soon or something like that. Or so in that way, this is I think a new era thanks to COVID-19, especially for someone who is working in some industries like IT. Then this is very good time. Actually, the price of Amazon stock is very high and higher than before. Actually, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, those are very good. Another one is if I pick up the company of Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom is very famous right now. But last year, I used Zoom, but not so often. Zoom, this is a very good opportunity. And another thing, of course, generally, this pandemic is really bad. It has a very bad impact on the economy, including Nigeria. Actually, during the lockdowns in the cities, lots of Nigerians lost their jobs. Just selling food on the streets, selling something on the streets, and um, they could make no money from that. That's a big problem. For someone who works in a higher offices, for them it is good. That is a very big problem considering whole of the Nigeria. Only small percent of Nigerian working in maybe big cities like Lagos, they are okay. They are working for IT companies or oil companies and gas companies or government offices. They are okay, but not so many. I guess it's like 10% to 20%. And the rest of the Nigerian, they are still very poor. No way to have business. So that's why Nigerian government had to release the lockdown as soon as possible. Otherwise, they cannot survive. That's the situation. So we are now learning a lot of things from this pandemic, and we have to be adjusted to new environment, a new style. And now today, I want to talk about the Nigerian future. And what I can do for you is uh, share my knowledge and the theory about creating a new business, analyzing the situation, seeing the world differently, and precisely to do something for the future from my experience and from my theory. Okay, let me share my PowerPoint.
Please do.
Okay, okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Oh, hello Nigeria, and I'm like Ojon-san introduced me. I am a serial entrepreneur. Have created a lot of businesses. More than 20 years, I have created more than 10 companies in my life. And very fortunately, more than half of them were bought or got public in the Tokyo stock market. And now I am an angel investor and also, of course, an entrepreneur. And I'm teaching this methodology and the theories in universities, not only Japan, but also in other countries. I'm doing it, but online. So I'm delivering my lectures to students in different countries and mainly India. So maybe next time I do it to Africans. And let me explain about my background. I was in United States when I was young, 23 years ago. You can see the young and handsome me. That picture was taken in United States, Chicago. Then I worked for Accenture, headquartered in United States, and Accenture is one of the biggest consulting companies in the world. And then after leaving Accenture, I started creating lots of companies, and that was this picture's experience was so great. Actually, that was my first opportunity to go to another country because before becoming a management consultant, I studied mathematics and physics in a postgraduate school, master and a doctoral course. And I finished that course at the age of 27. Then I became a management consultant and a business person. So the lesson that it's not bad idea to become a business person, even though who studied engineering or IT or material engineering or something. It's possible. And then in that case, we can use this expertise and the special knowledge into business. And I'm now teaching how to do that from my experience and with my theory. Then I deliver some workshops and keynotes. This time, this is a webinar nowadays. And starting with Africans and the foreigners, and I don't care about nationality. Any nationality, everybody is the same. This is a picture taken in Hokkaido University in Japan. But this picture, oh, is this a Japanese campus? Actually, this is a Japanese campus and taken in Sapporo, a northern part of Japan, Hokkaido University. But there was no Japanese here. You can find lots of Africans here, Nigerian, the Zambian, the Ethiopians, and the other Asians or other people maybe looks Europeans. No Japanese here, and some Chinese. And so I'm doing and sharing my knowledge and my expertise to lots of the students. This is a picture. This is the Indian Institute of Science. Science. Because I was a mathematician and a physicist. So that's why I can understand the language of science. And I'm teaching them how to implement this science expertise into business. And of course, in Japanese university, then I do it in Japanese. And Singapore is very big city, and the prices are very expensive. But please remember this country's name. This can be a key country because Singapore is very, very small. It's like an island, but a very, very rich island. And also international city, and a lot of foreigners working together. And the advantage of Singapore is it has a lot of investors. So if you wanna have partners, find someone who will help me financially, then it's better to go to Singapore and someone working in a financial institute. Then if you want, I can introduce my colleagues, my friends in Singapore. And also the advantage of Singapore, it's really international city and easy to hire lots of the people from all over the world. So please check Singapore. And Singapore is also will be better because of Hong Kong. This is part of China officially. Then I don't know how it's going to be in Hong Kong. So some of the functions will be transferred to Singapore. So that's why check this country. It's a tropical country, very hot. But I think it's no problem for Africans, especially Nigeria.
That's what we thought about August here in Japan, but we've never seen heat like this until we came
Yes,
to
yes,
Japan.
yes, and very hot and humid and much worse than Nigeria, especially in summer in Tokyo.
Yes.
37 degree or 38. Well, yeah.
I was surprised about that. Sorry for interrupting you.
Okay, okay, no problem. Okay, so going to the today's topics. Frankly, I talk briefly about that. Now, first of all, how is the world nowadays, especially and the difficulty of COVID-19 and political conflicts, such as conflicts between United States and China. It will have very big impact on Nigeria, frankly, because of course all of you know there is so big money from China, investment money, but it's not like that for the future because China is no longer so rich for the future. So that's why nowadays, lots of Chinese investors uh, back to China, and instead maybe those money go to another countries. And but you Nigerian has a big advantage because the good news for business is that we have much money, too much money, I think, especially under this condition. I'm going to explain it. Okay. Then, roughly speaking, COVID-19 is very bad. It's found in Wuhan, China, and a strong infection is bad impact on everything, everyday's life. Then world economies go down so hard, and but good thing about that is it accelerates digital transformation. So that's why for IT companies, it must be a good chance. For traditional old economies, it's really terrible. It's really terrible. But for Amazon, it's really good. Actually, I bought 4 displays in this pandemic. For me, it's my son's, or it's my wife. I bought 4 displays in Amazon. All the money flows into Amazon. That's the reason. Now, the third point, regional disparity. Regional disparity of Africa can be a big problem, especially inside the country. Lagos, Abuja, those cities, advanced cities, people can be richer and richer, but not all of them. Only small percent of them. I guess they can go to Starbucks to have a cafe latte almost every morning, and it is very expensive. In Japan, a cup of Starbucks coffee is like 3 or 4 US dollar in Japan. But I guess in Nigeria, the price is almost the same. But the $3 and $4 for US dollar is very big money, isn't it? In Africa,
It is.
you can make a living for 1 week if the family is living local. So inside the country, that this regional disparity is getting bigger and bigger, and it may cause a lot of problem, internal conflicts. So that can be a problem. And sovereign risks will be get political power balance changed. Then Nigeria used to be colonized to UK, so that's why the relation to UK is so strong. For example, lots lots of Nigerians go to UK to have a higher education in master course and doctoral course. And even after finishing that, they have jobs in London simply because their salary is much better than the salary in Nigeria. So the biggest problem is a brain drain. And brain drain is very, very, very important than we think. Because Nigerian government is spending lots of money to support education. But the talented person, and the very elite, smart person do not contribute to the Nigeria. That can be the problem. So that means we have a lot of good industry, profitable and great for the future inside Nigeria. Not only Nigeria, another African countries. Like the same way, Ghana, Ethiopia, South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, lots of talented Nigerians go to United States or European countries, but they started in their home country. That can be a big, big, big problem. In that case, then let them come back to home country and make the use of the talent and their knowledge and experience in different countries. We have to make the most use of them. That's a highest priority That's my recommendation. Okay. Then world economics go down. Dow Jones Index, stock market they went down, but soon recovered. For Nigerians, oil price is quite important. And frankly, the price of oil or gas, these are higher. Nigerian economy is good. But unfortunately, it used to be good and it has been good for last 15 or 20 years. Because during that time, China's economy was so strong. They bought lots of natural resources from Nigeria. So that's why the price of oil was so high, and Nigeria could have lots of money by exporting oil and gas. But bad news about that, during that they could have money, but they didn't invest to the infrastructure, such as power supply, highway, railway, airport, and education, higher education. Nowadays, I had very, very bad and sad story from Nigerians. Now in the campus of higher Nigerian university, there are many strikes of lecturer and professor because their salary are not paid. Really sad. In those campuses, there are so many good, talented students, but they cannot study and they cannot finish the course. They cannot graduate. That means they cannot have jobs and make money. So this is a bad cycle. So we have to change it. So financially, this country should be stable. Then not not only rely on the money from oil and gas, but also creating lots of industries. So that means creating lots of businesses. That's what I can teach how to do that. Okay. Now travel, food, retail, or some of the information industry very bad. And now bad news is the global growth. Uh, GDP growth rate is minus 4.9% by IMF, and reveal hidden problems and the basic trend and before COVID-19. Their hidden problem will be appeared soon, especially economically. So we have to do that. Okay, skip, 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 skip. Then this good news is here. Nigerian population now ranked number 7. It's very big. Also good news from here is the number of young people in Nigeria is so big. Nigeria has a workforce and talents. So that can be a problem. I know that because government have to create a lot of jobs. But then I want to recommend Nigerian to come to Japan, like Ojon-san, because if once come to Japan, soon realize there are many jobs waiting for you. For example, if a Nigerian come to Japan and go to some restaurant and shops, for example, convenience stores and McDonald's and KFCs, there are so many foreigners working there. And good news about that is their salary is not so bad. Even those working in a McDonald's and KFCs, then if they work for long for like 7 hours, 8 hours, then the person can make living, make both ends meet very easily. Even though he or she lives in Tokyo, big city. Tokyo is big city, but it's possible. Living in an apartment store alone, that's possible, and can buy iPhone. iPhone is very expensive. So, and in Japan, for talented people, foreigners, Japanese government enhancing Japanese company to hire talented people and gives them the work permit, even though who do not speak Japanese. But it's okay. If they have some expertise and specialties, then we welcome you from different countries and then have the higher position in labors in the company like Toyota or Panasonic. So it must be a good combination of collaboration. In Japan, we need workforce and talents. In Nigeria, you have. So it must be a good combination. So that's why I always recommend Nigerians and other Africans, why don't you come to Japan? Of course, language of Japanese can be a big barrier. And frankly, I don't think I remember all of Japanese characters. The number of kanji Japanese character is too many. I can't count. It's so many. And I cannot write all of them. I can read them because I am a Japanese and brought up in Japan. But I cannot write. Instead, I type in the PC. So don't worry about that. We Japanese society is changing rapidly to become a global star, to become a global country. So in Tokyo, there are some people who speaks English, and it's convenient. Why don't you come to Japan? It's not bad. Not the UK. It's Japan. It's peaceful. Almost no crime here. It's really good. It's very far from Nigeria, and you have to transit. Then you can transit at Singapore and stay one night or 2 nights at Singapore. Singapore is very convenient for you. I guarantee this is international city, and everybody speaks English so well.
Yeah.
Only the problem, the prices are higher than Tokyo. That's the problem. So stay only 1 night or 2 nights. Okay, then come to Japan. I promise this country is very good, and also Japan has technology and money. That's exactly needed in Nigeria.
Yeah.
If you want to have highways and power plants or something, it takes lots of money. But Japan, it has a lot of money, and we are looking for the place to invest. Mostly India or Indonesia, because those countries are in Asia and not far from Japan. And we have some cultural background, the same background originally, especially China and Singapore and Indonesia. They are speaking Chinese for some people. And India, we have traded so actively from the end of World War II. Then, and of course, India is so populous, but India is also poor. So that's why I went to India so often. Like the same way, India has a lot of talents and workforce, but very poor, maybe poorer than Nigeria. And its infrastructure is so poor also, so needed investment. And talented Indian cannot have good jobs if they are in India. Exactly like Nigeria, I guess, to some degree. So that's why Nigeria, India, Indonesia, I went to those countries so often, and I could find a lot of business opportunity. In Japan, the salary of Japanese is so big. I don't think they are so good considering the level of their salary. I can hire 5 Indian instead of hiring 1 Japanese. They just speak Japanese. Indians speak English, and of course many languages. I don't know how many. And Indians are very hard workers because the competition to have good positions or entering universities, colleges, is very tough. That's the reason. Very hard worker. So the same, I guess, Nigeria. And for the future, year 2050, Nigeria will be the third place and almost double. Then there must be lots of jobs. I have to create them. Then next year, after this pandemic, I'm going to visit Nigeria. Then please somebody help me to take to some of the institute and labs and pitch contest or something. Okay.
Certainly.
Okay. So summary of Nigeria. Now potential market size is very huge and will be bigger, as you see in previous page. Huge population bonus. That means the young Nigerians are living, they can be a workforce. And abundant natural resources and the cultural diversity. There are so many cultures in Nigeria, multi-ethnic. That means it's really good. It's really good. Sometimes there are some conflicts, but I think the educated persons are not like that. So they work together, different ideas. That is much better situation. So then, need to have a good leader, of course. Manage the differences. It is sometimes very difficult. I experienced it in the United States because I was a leader. My teammates are from many countries, including Africa, Asia, Europe, and Latin America. Of course, some are Americans, and it's quite difficult as a leader. For example, if we go out to buy something, then like a Mediterranean restaurant, oh, that's nice. But in the restaurant, there was someone. I am a vegetarian. I am a Muslim. I am a Hindu. So, with a religious reason, I cannot eat pork. I cannot eat beef. And some of the Asian from China, I have allergy. That can be a big problem. It's one of the example, but you may be encountering this kind of situation. Just going out to buy something to eat, that can be very tough. Oh, there are some negative information, but negative information is always good information to start a business. Please trust me. There is something, oh, it's really bad. I don't like it. In that case, if you resolve this problem, it must be a business opportunity. So if you have a problem or issues, you have to write down to the note or memo. Then remember that and how to handle that. It must be a good business model, I guarantee. And actually, I've been doing that and we'll be doing like that. Then, so let me check the negative factors of Nigeria. Inefficiency in democracy. Maybe all of you know. Some of the corruption or something. Then have to have a leader. But I believe soon a strong and very good leader appears. Then the country will be much better. And the wealth disparity. So social problem solving is important. And the weak infrastructure and the brain drain, air pollution and environmental problem. Actually, air pollution in big cities in Nigeria is so bad that this can be seen in another developing country such as Indonesia, Malaysia, Bangladesh, of course, India. The air in Tokyo is very good. Tokyo is a big city, but simply because we don't have factories in Tokyo. Because nowadays, Japanese manufacturers like Toyota, Panasonic, and Sony, they have factories outside Japan. Because labor costs and power supply costs in developing countries, the cost is cheaper. So that means the Nigeria should have lots of Toyota factories or Panasonic factories. And it's negotiable. Actually, they tried long time ago, but they failed. The reason is the power supply or infrastructures were not good enough. to maintain it. So we should have next trial. Then if failed, then we have the third trial. Don't worry about that. Third time, fourth time, and the 10th time, it's okay. In the future, anyway, we should have it, infrastructure, power supply, transportation, or something like that. That can be the idea of the business. Okay, okay. I don't have much time, so let's see. I'll give you some of the activities of startups. Creating a business, then we should have some activities to support startup business because startups are very small at the beginning, of course. But in the future, that can be big. For example, 10 years ago, I think the service of Uber share ride service, that was very small, very small. But now, Uber is so huge. And very good point of Uber business model is it has created jobs for jobless Nigerians. Once the person has a car and he can drive, he can be a taxi driver, not a taxi driver, Uber driver. Then he has to install the application of Uber and registered as a driver, then waiting for something. Actually, in many countries in Asia, especially Asia, Uber is infrastructure. And also there is there are competitors of Uber providing the same service in different countries. In India, we call it Ola Cabs, almost a copy of Uber. And in Indonesia, there are some another one. And in Vietnam and Malaysia, there is a name Grab, the same. Also, this is also provides another online service, payment gateway service. It's like a wallet. It's very convenient. For example, I use Uber in India whenever I go to this country. Then I pay with Uber application because I register my credit card here. So I need not negotiate with the driver. How much is it? It's the wrong way. You lost something. And checking if I'm on my way, and no negotiation, just pay, submit it. Very convenient. And Uber in India, it has created a lot of jobs in India, like the same way. Maybe in another African country, this kind of service created jobs.
Yes.
So now it is very good time to start business, not only to gain money, but also to create and to help lots of people. Then, so there are so many startup events, and very fortunately, I was invited to be a guest speaker in those events. Then I always talk about the possibility of the startups and how to make it possible, how to make it effectively, or sometimes more topics about fundraising, marketing strategy, team building, and finance or something. Then lots of Indians came to me after my lecture. Professor, may I ask you to become an advisor? Could you invest or something? Too many, more than 100, sometimes more than 200. Even after this lecture, I was so tired, but I had to have another 1 hour with that. But I was so happy because a lot of Indians they want to do something. It's really bad. It's really good. Like the same way China, like the same way Gojek. This is the biggest startups. Not only startups, it is the biggest unicorn company in Indonesia. It provides a Uber-like share ride service and wallet, e-commerce, ticket, hotel, everything. This company covered. It's almost the infrastructure. Then beautiful city of Singapore. Singapore itself is very small and matured, but you can find a partner here. So that's why I always go to Singapore when I go to another neighboring Asian countries like Malaysia, Indonesia. Then I meet some key persons who are interested in expanding business to another very popular and potential countries. So Vietnam is also very huge, and uh, its population is so huge, like Nigeria, mostly half of Nigeria. And now this is a era of war for talent. Lots of people, lots of companies want to find the talents. In Nigeria, lots of talents must be sleeping. So wake up, wake up, wake up. Why don't you come to Japan? So next time, maybe I do it next year. So nowadays, it's really good news for Nigeria is now, including me, lots of people give up going to visit another country because of COVID-19. So that's why even living in a different countries, we can work together. We can work. Only the things we have to concern is time zone. Now, Nigeria and Japan time very different. But if we consider that, it's okay. Actually, now I'm working and living in Indian time. I'm now in Japan. At the Japan time, the 3.5 hour ahead from India. So, but in the midnight, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in Japan, it's a good time for someone who is in India. I have a lot of midnight meetings and get up late in the morning, like 10 a.m., 11 p.m., 11 a.m., because I work from home, so it's possible. So
Yeah.
I just say to my colleagues, please do not book my appointment in the morning because I now live in Indian time. That's the reason. Okay. So SDGs is quite important nowadays, especially Nigeria. Sustainable development goals. We have to create something, but should be social. Then it is also in the point of business having money. Sustainable social is quite an important word, even though the person is only interested in money. Even in that case, it's quite important because of sustainable is then lots of people want to work for those companies. Sustainable social. If your companies are social doing something businesses, then lots of people want to work for your company, even though the salaries are not so good. But in the future, because this is a feeling of human's nature, contributions to the society, working for someone else, someone for families, or something like that. So the business in the social areas, it has big advantage. But on the other hand, SDGs. Why SDGs? Because it has not been sustainable. Why? Greedy capitalism and the short-term goals, no special objective, no government. There are so many difficulties in that field. Especially, it takes longer than just creating apps, and it takes more money, like creating infrastructure or something. For example, education. We all know the importance of education for the future, but generally speaking, education is not profitable. So in Nigeria, there are some public schools and there are some private schools. And I guess like in Japan, the level of professor or teachers in public schools are better than private schools are better than public schools. Am I right?
You're correct.
Yes.
Because the private school is for profit, so definitely they'll
Yes,
get the
yes,
best.
yes, yes. The situation is exactly the same in Japan. Same in Japan. Simply because private school, the fees are higher than public school. And that means that teachers in private schools will be paid more. That's the reason. But it's unfair. Personally, I don't like it. Education opportunity should be equally divided to anybody. So good example is the Soviet Union. Soviet Union, uh, their education fee was free, and it provided everybody. So that's why even now, after corruption of Soviet Union, maybe mostly 30 years passed. But ex-Soviet Union states, such as Lithuania and, of course, Russia and Belarus, those countries, their
Georgia.
education levels are higher. So that's why lots of Nigerians, even now, studying in those countries, ex-Soviet Union countries, because education level is high and the fees are not expensive. So this is an example. But but the problem is the problem is it's still difficult. And if someone who want to make money, then the person may create private schools, private companies, or something like that. And the biggest problem in this with this subject can be seen in United States. US, if you go to Harvard University, you have to pay lots of money, don't you? Then the tuition fee is much, much higher. So that's kind of problem. So social problem is something like that. Then we have to create new systems. And sometimes you need to have money. Then that means find someone who will help you financially. But you can find someone. For example, Mr. Bill Gates. He is a founder of Microsoft. I have never seen him in person, but at least the fact is he has a big fund for the SDR social business to food business, education, or vaccine or something. So even those in the public sectors like education, nowadays there are so much money waiting for business opportunity. Then one of the ways to solve this problem is find someone who want to invest in this public and social markets or social areas. And at least I have some friends who want to invest to those fields. Then that's possible. Then maybe if you succeed, of course you can be rich. Also, you can save lots of people. Then what we have to study is business, and especially how to start a business in the beginning very, very effectively. So if I have next time I have some opportunity, then I'm talking about fundraising and finance. It's corporate finance for startups. Then, okay, let me wrap up. Just a moment.
Okay.
We don't have so much time.
Yes.
Then
It's
finally,
the time for QA.
okay. Then what we have to do is here. Now, new era, new system. No border, no nationality, no region. Then cross-border. Cross-border. We don't care where he or she lives right now. Now it's possible. And the COVID-19, we could learn from it. Then integrated stable power generation, proper allocation of wealth, global warming, another common issues in the world, share that and collaborate together. revision of education disparity, establishment of global police system, sharing and management of intellectual property rights, application of society and individual to an aging society. Nigeria is not aging society, but in advanced countries like Japan or European country like Germany, then we are confronting aging problem very seriously. Then that can be big business opportunity. And for Nigeria, why don't you come to Japan? It's like that. Okay, thank you very much. And if you will want to connect me in SNS, please feel free from requesting friendship to me and Facebook and LinkedIn. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Kazuaki Oda. Thank you so much. I think I have to just put a little disclaimer, like you could have heard him enthusiastically. He's more like a Japanese outlier. So this is not a typical Japanese temperament.
Yes,
So,
I'm always told, are you a Japanese? I don't think. I was born in Japanese.
you're very Americanized now. So just have to drop that. Everybody takes that with a pinch of salt. Thank you so much for the presentation. It's been very thorough. Yes, like I already discussed with you, because of the next presentation to come, that we would definitely have to end 5 minutes before the time. So the materials, what is important is the materials is lengthy, but many people want to digest it more.
Yes. I will share the link in slide share service.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So because we now have just shy of 3 to 4 minutes left, so definitely Q&A will not be possible. My apologies to any person who would have been,
sorry that,
sorry. No, not at all, because this is like a good aperitif. You wet the beak of everybody. So now people, the people that are here, the attendees, they will definitely look after seeing you in your next presentation, connect with you on your social media handles, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and definitely they will benefit more from the next presentations that they could have access to. So, so I want to thank you once again, Professor.
Oh, my pleasure. My greatest pleasure. It's me to say thank you very much, Ojon-san. Great opportunity.
Thank you so much. And maybe I'll just relate to Mr. John Paul, the gentleman you met earlier on, to just do you the final honors from Kakehashi Africa.
Thank you so much, sir. I wish there was much more time for us to keep enjoying your speech and your presentation. You actually whetted our appetite, and I have a lot of questions which I would definitely forward to you later. You give us insight about helping us connect with your friends from Singapore and how you're an expert in fundraising for startup, which we look forward to next time. So without wasting much time, on behalf of the entire Kakehashi Africa, a body whose main mission is to connect businesses between Africa and Japan, I want to say a very big thank you to you. This means a lot to us and would have this day engraving in our hearts. That I can assure you. We look forward to connect to you more.
Yes.
We need your advice. We need your insights. We need to not just bring people from Africa to Japan, but also find how we can provide win-win situations for everybody. So please, let me apologize.
Okay, yes.
Beforehand, that we're going to keep contacting you.
Yes, sure.
So thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you much. And again, I also thank you very much for all of you, because I'm happy to have this wonderful opportunity, and I love Nigerians. And so next time, let's see you in person.
Definitely.
I'll definitely come around. Well, maybe the Indian time. I have to I have to know when to come. Now you live in Indian time, so we have to reschedule well.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so thank you everyone unfortunately, we have to come to the end because we have to prepare for our next
Okay.
presentation from Professor Brisibe in the next session. So, Professor Kazuaki Oda, arigatou gozaimasu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Nice
And
one. Hi.
All right. See you guys in the next session.
5 minutes, right?